Okay, as I promised in the last video, today we're going to talk about the queue times and matchmaking issues that are plaguing VHS right now. We want to talk about this issue in particular because if players are waiting 5 to 15 minutes to get into a match, which then lasts 4 minutes because they're facing experienced opponents, they're probably going to be less enthusiastic to queue up for another match. The devs are, of course, aware of the situation, and we've even gotten an article talking about this topic, among others, as well as a few patches addressing them. So, what we'll be doing here today is talking about why these problems might exist fundamentally, and how difficult solving this problem is going to be for Hellbent. After all, it took Dead by Daylight 6 years to improve the problem slightly, and they've fundamentally changed the game as a result. I'm sure Hellbent is super excited to tackle this problem.
Space Coconut.
Queue times, matchmaking, and player retention are all interconnected. New players come in, wait 15 minutes for a match, get stomped by experienced opponents, and then leave the game because they might not feel like waiting another 15 minutes to get into a game. This cycle is the core issue and needs to be broken, but the root cause for this problem might actually be with the monster role itself. When the devs made changes to the matchmaking recently, they also included an XP bonus to the role that needs more players at the time. More often than not, this is the monster role. But there are still times where I'm just sitting in queue for over 10 minutes just to face an opponent that has less experience than I do, leading to a match that isn't exactly ideal. In the hours after the most recent change, queue times were great for team players, and they slowly drifted into the 5-minute plus territory. Coincidentally, comments and discussions about how difficult and unfun Monster were to play started picking up in frequency on the Discord. Maybe this was because new teen players were trying Monster for the first time thanks to the bonus XP that was offered to play the Monster role. I have always said that there's something with the Monster role that makes it less fun to play than the teen role. The frustration and stress that comes with learning the role is exhausting, and even if queues are fast, the average player can probably only play fewer monster matches compared to teen matches. Unfortunately, the XP bonus for the monster role doesn't seem to be enough to get players to take up the monster role. There's no way to say for sure why this is the case since it's highly subjective to a player's opinion, but the end result is obvious. Fewer people play the monster role, leading to longer queue times, which leads to poorly matched players, which leads to poor matches, which leads to players feeling less enticed to play more monster matches. This problem existed in the beta, and I was absolutely convinced that things would level out once more people entered the game. Unfortunately, that hasn't been the case, and my original thoughts during the media preview have actually been restated by players who feel the same way about the monster role without ever hearing me say that. Speaking for myself, I can only play a few matches of Monster before I'm exhausted mentally. If I'm thrown against the comp players that work well together, chances are high that my match is going to involve a lot of stress and pressure. Whether I win or lose doesn't matter. The match itself becomes exhausting and is a completely different experience from playing the teen role. Here's the thing that sucks. Because we don't understand the matchmaking algorithms, we can only talk about how things feel right now, and we have no idea how difficult it actually is to make the changes necessary because those changes are based on what people feel like doing. In this case, playing teen. But without changing the core of the monster role to make it more appealing to play, I don't think a solution can be found. It's far too late to change how the monster role is played, and any changes would cause the rest of the game to change for teens, and there's no telling what that would do to the game. Maybe matchmaking and matches that feel fair are simply the problem, and once the devs get that algorithm to play nice and put the right players together quickly, we won't have to talk about this problem. But if the source of the issues is in fact the stress level of the monster role, I don't know what can be done. I've read this script a few times trying to find a different problem, and I always come back to how it feels to play Monster. Maybe the new player experience for Monster players is the problem, leading to less players understanding how to play the role in the first place. Maybe it comes to the ambush meta that early Monsters fall victim to that other content creators have mentioned to me before. Whatever it is, players need to want to play Monster, and no amount of bonus XP is going to help with that if the role isn't fun to play. Or at least less stressful to play, because I do think Monster is fun. But again, here I am stuck, so I'm just going to leave this thought train circle here. Let me know what you think in the comments below, because VHS as a community, or the VHS community as a whole, needs to isolate what the core problem is so the devs can come up with a solution to that problem, leading to better matches and faster queue times for everyone. That is the cornerstone of VHS, and if it's not repaired, the community might dwindle to the point of no return. Here's hoping that never happens. Like the video if you liked the video, dislike it if you disliked it, and until next time, I'm Space Coconut, and you're welcome.